Episode 32 of the Marketing Life podcast. This is Taylor Timothy, your host, and today we're going to be talking about how to increase your click-through rate. So this kind of goes hand in hand with episode 15. We talked about how to increase conversion rates. So if you haven't listened to that one, go check that out. But let's not waste any more time and dive right in. So how to increase your click-through rate. There's 4 categories that we're going to be talking about, and I have tips inside of each of these categories. So the first category is Facebook ads. The second one is Google paid ads. The third one is email. The fourth one is blogging. So basically creating blogs. So let's first talk about Facebook. First tip number 1 for Facebook ads and how to increase your click-through rate. So tip number 1 is using emojis. So using emojis to highlight offers or highlight ways to get them to stop and scroll. Also, emojis help your ads stand out and look different from everyone else's. So just a little example here, if you say stop, maybe you highlight the word stop and you put stop signs on the left of it and on the right of the word just to help your ad stand out a little bit. Maybe it's a remarketing ad and it's a sell, so maybe you're using the emoji of the money sign to highlight the sell that's going on. So using emojis to make your ad stand out, I have found that it helps increase your click-through rate, but don't get too emoji happy. If you get too emoji happy, a lot of times it makes your ads look spammy as well. So find a happy balance with that and use more emojis to help increase your guys' click-through rate. The next thing I want to talk about, tip number 2, is long copy. So long copy, there's long copy and there's short copy. Long copy has more text inside the text area of your ad. So the more text you put there, at some point you'll get a little icon inside the ad that says see more, and then it will open your ad and show more of the copy inside your ad. So I have found if you do that and have long copy, a lot of times this helps increase your click-through rate. But I will say you need to test this for your business. So do a test long copy versus short copy to see if that helps increase your click-through rate. The next thing we're going to talk about is actually using links inside your ad. So inside your ad copy, I always recommend putting the link that you're trying to drive them to. So at the bottom of your copy, always add a link. That's just going to help increase your click-through rate because now they just have one more place, another place they can click on to go to your landing page. So make sure you add links inside your ad. That is tip number 3. Tip number 4, this one, you're going to have to think outside the box, but you got to have creative headlines. If you're not being creative, you're not going to be speaking to these people. People are on Facebook to have fun. They want to be informed. So make sure you're being creative inside your headlines. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is actually solve a problem. So any of your ad copy or any of your offers that you're creating inside of Facebook, make sure you are actually solving a problem. If you're not solving a problem, then people aren't going to be interested in your ads and they're just going to come across spammy. So that's tip number 5. Make sure you solve a problem. Now we're going to talk about Google paid ads. So this can be a very, very competitive area, but I will say if you follow these tips, I have seen drastic conversion increase, and I've also seen a drastic, obviously, click-through rate increase as well. So basically talking about Google paid ads. So make sure, guys, you're using all the extensions. I can't tell you how many ad platform, like how many Google paid accounts I've seen that people aren't using all the extensions. Make sure you're filling out all the information on the extensions and using them. Make sure you're using all the call outs. If you're not using all these, you guys are wasting money here. This is potential increase on click-through rate. So make sure you guys are using all the extensions and all the call outs. This is going to help take up more real estate inside of the Google search network when they're searching, and basically just going to help you guys increase that click-through rate. Tip number 2, be accurate with your keywords. So what I mean by that is make sure that your keywords are correlating with your actual ads. So if you're running a campaign on a service-based company, we'll use plumbing as an example. So if it says plumber, make sure you have plumber inside of your keyword, and then make sure that your ad also has plumber in it as well. This is also going to help increase your click-through rate. So that is tip number 2, be accurate with your keywords. Tip number 3, use as much text as possible. So a lot of times people don't use all the text that is available. So right now, we can use up to 35 characters on headline 1. On headline 2, we can use 35 characters as well. So try and use as many characters as possible. Now, is it possible to use all 35? Yes. Does it happen all the time? No. But again, the rule of thumb is just to make sure you use as much text as possible, and that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is just making sure your guys' ad accounts are very organized. You may say, how is this going to help increase my click-through rate? So if you have all of your keywords planned out and you have every ad talking to that specific keyword, that is going to help you guys increase your click-through rate. And that's going to wrap up the Google Paid Ads section. Next thing we're going to talk about is email. So tip number 1 is just to be fun and creative, guys. So many people are so boring in their ads. They just say, hey, buy my product. Nobody cares. I'm sorry, but nobody cares. Be fun and creative inside of your emails, and this is going to help you guys increase your click-through rates, your open rates over on email. And if you're being fun and creative, again, people are going to read them, and it's just going to help you guys out. Tip number 2 is kind of similar with Facebook, but use emojis in your subject headlines. Use emojis in your emails. From my experience, email is getting to that point where it's not professional anymore. It's about being fun and creative and engaging. Talking as if you were talking to someone versus being very formal. So I'm all about being fun and creative inside my emails. So make sure you guys are doing that. And that's going to wrap up email. Blogs, baby. Again, blogs is kind of similar with email and some stuff in Facebook as well, but have creative titles in your blogs. Make sure they're fun and creative. People like to read fun and creative things. And then tip number 2 with the blogs is solves a problem. Make sure you're blogging about things that are helping people out. They're solving their problems, and this is just going to be beneficial for you guys across the board. So just to recap here, so Facebook ads, use emojis. Tip number 2 was long copy versus short copy. Go test that out. Make sure you have links inside of your ad copy, creative headlines, and make sure your ads are solving people's problems. Google Paid Ads, make sure you're using all the extensions and callouts. Make sure you're accurate with your keywords and your keywords correlate to your ads. Tip number 3 was use as much text as possible when creating your paid ads. Again, try and use all the characters available, and then making sure your ad account is organized. Make sure, like I said, everything correlates to everything. That keyword talks about that ad. Email recap, fun and creative. Use emojis in your subject headline, and in the blogs, creative titles, and make sure you're blogging and talking about things that solve people's problems. And that's going to wrap up episode 32. Hope this helps you guys increase those click-through rates. Thanks, guys, for listening to episode number 32 of the Marketing Life podcast, How to Increase Your Click-Through Rate. If you guys don't know what click-through rate is, I realize I didn't talk about this at the beginning, but basically it's the percentage of people clicking on your ads or clicking on your emails or clicking on your blogs. The higher the click-through rate, the higher conversion you guys are going to get. So if you guys have questions about how to increase this, or you have more questions about this podcast, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help. And please, guys, go leave me a review over on iTunes or over on Spotify, wherever you guys are listening to this podcast. It just helps me grow and get out there and help more marketers get better results. Again, just a reminder, the course is up, it's going, and people are loving it. So if you guys have questions about that, go over and check it out. The link is in the description, and peace.